Oh my goodness. So I'm 30 days out from a year since I've recommitted my life to the Lord. Whoa, how fast did that go? I got out of rehab around May 25th of 2022, and Memorial Day is on the 30th. And I spent Memorial Day alone. Why? Because Memorial Day is a drinking holiday, and I did not want to leave the house. I was like, no, there's too much temptation out there. I can't do it. So I stayed home. And around that time, I just kept hearing the Kendrick Lamar verse from the song, Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst. And I just kept hearing, jump in that water and pray that it works. I was like, why do I feel like this? And I was like, no, I've been baptized before. Like, Jesus got me, I'm good. And sometimes it's like, you need to start over. You started over in the physical realm. You need to start over in the spiritual realm and just see what happens. You have nothing to lose. At this point, I had nothing. It's Memorial Day, a holiday where I would go out to the liquor store and get what I needed and go out with my friends all night long and turn up, bar hop, everything. And I'm in the house alone with my cats. I don't even think we were watching TV. I think we were kind of just sitting around talking, and I was doing all the talking. So, so it's like, okay, well, you really have nothing to lose. So I inquired on where to get baptized, because at the time, the church that I had gotten baptized in when I was younger, I hadn't returned as an adult, and it had been so long. And then, everyone in a town goes to this church. I didn't want any of that. I wanted to really explore my religion on my own I don't need cousins and things coming to me and talking to me. I didn't need any of that. I wanted to go and find out for myself. So I did some Google work to see if anybody was baptizing, and none of the dates were coming up. There was this one church I had heard about. It's called Liquid Church, and they do baptisms like on certain dates throughout the year. So I signed up for notifications because I had been there once before. It's a church with multiple locations in New Jersey, and it's for the whole state. So they all do baptisms on the same day. So I was like, let me just sign up for notifications. I signed up to the email, and I let time go by. So let's say June, July, August, September, all this went by, and I'm just trying to stay sober. Like, yeah, God is with me and we good. And I did say, God, give me the grace to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I did start saying that in the mirror because I know that they push that in rehab. And that's all I had. I didn't want to open my Bible. And that, even after I got baptized, that took a long time to do. I didn't want to do it. Praying was like, I'm standing in front of the mirror, I'm talking to God, and then I'm going to tell myself how great I am. And that's all I got. And he took that. And I just went on with my days. And then November came, and I got the email saying that they were doing baptisms on November 20th, and if I wanted to sign up. And you didn't have to go to the church to sign up. It wasn't anything like that. So I signed up. They emailed me immediately, and they said I had to come in for a meeting. I came in, and I just wanted to make sure that I was baptized the right way. I wouldn't open my Bible to find out exactly what that was at the time, but I wanted to make sure. I did a little research, and it said it had to be in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I said, okay. So I went in, we did the seminar, and they pulled up the exact verse that said exactly that, and that's how they're going to do it. When I put in the request to sign up for the baptism, it said, why do you want to be baptized? And I put in what I had to put in, and then it said, do you have any special requests? And I said, I need to be baptized in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and if you could just hold me down a little too long. And I knew when they called me to come in after that, I was like, oh my God, they probably think I'm a demon. Like, I wanted to be held under for just a little too long, because all I kept hearing in my head was jump in that water and pray that it works. And I was like, oh man. So then we went in for the seminar, and they explained that they would do it that way. They had a whole slideshow, everything. And we had to just share why we wanted to do it with the group that we were in. And I picked a later sermon, and there was 3 other people in the room. And they shared their testimonies, And then I shared mine. And as soon as I went to speak, I was crying. Before the words could come out, I was already destroyed. I was like, oh man. So then before we left, they gave us the assignment to write our testimonies out so that they could read them when they put us in the water. And I was like, I don't want to do no assignments. I just want them to put me in the water. I'm praying that it works. Like, that's it. They're just going to dunk me and that's it. Just hold me down and leave me alone. This is where my heart was. I was seeking, but my heart was still damaged, like Danity Kane said. So after that, I waited until 2 days before, and I attempted to do it when I first got the assignment, and I couldn't do it. I was like, why do they want to know this? This is none of their business. I'm not writing this down. Like, just know I want to get baptized, and my name is Dominé. And then 2 days before it was time to get in the water, it came over me, and it was like, hey, just write down what I'm about to tell you. And I started writing down my story. So now I'm sitting there in tears, crying over this story, sent it in an email, and this is what they read before I professed my allegiance to Jesus Christ. And yeah, they read it out loud in front of the congregation. Today, 11/20/22, is a very special day. Not only is it my grandmother's birthday, but today I recommitted my life to Jesus. Here is the testimony I wrote that was read at my baptism. Dominé Spinelli. In true Dominé form, I had to break it down phonetically so they didn't say my name wrong, because you baptizing Dominé Spinelli. I don't know who Dominé is. So, Dominé Spinelli. I've known Jesus since I was a child. I was first baptized at 10 years old. At the time, I wasn't privy to what being a follower of Jesus encompassed fully. I knew he died for me, but I never considered that I'd have to live for him. I continued into my teen years, living as I saw fit, believing the turn down for what mentality, not realizing that it was one of the world. I knew Jesus was continually by my side, but something inside of me had been broken for longer than I'd like to admit. At the time, I wasn't accountable enough to realize how far away I had strayed, so far that I had even forgotten that I could make a change. I would often pray to be set free of my addiction and decisions that caused me pain, but I could never bring myself to release those things and walk away. Rather than confronting my struggle, I tried to hide like Jonah did. I tried to run away from who I was assigned to be by masquerading as who I should be to the world. 18 years of being left to my own devices left me empty, with a hole no man, no smoke, no drink, no amount of anger could fill. I could find no vice to make the pain end. Then I began to spiral. I isolated myself from my friends and family. I often blamed others for my predicament, all whilst believing I was in full control. For so many years, all I wanted was a way out. I knew 2022 was going to be different. At the start of the year, I asked for freedom. Initially, it just meant financial freedom, but as I thought on it some more, I acknowledged that I wanted freedom from my addictions, freedom to be untethered of all coping mechanisms that once brought me comfort. One typical weekend in February, with my head in the toilet, crying out for God to make the pain stop, I heard him say, "If you want to be who we know you are, you have to get clean." At the time, I agreed. Anything to make the puking stop. Anything to get me off that bathroom floor and into my bed for the night. I went back to my ways shortly after, but the conversation stuck with me. A few days later, still indulging, probably drunk at the time, I decided to do a little more research on rehabilitation centers. After many Google searches, something told me to go on TikTok and try a hashtag. After scrolling for a while, I found a young lady's rehabilitation review that changed everything. I did some research, called the number, spoke to a liaison, and from there, God took over. 5 weeks later, I was on a flight to the beautiful rehabilitation retreat, paid for by my insurance, and my life hasn't been the same ever since. Not only have I been released from my addiction, but I received help on some situations that led me to that place. I am over 200 days rehabilitated of alcohol and marijuana, and even gone so far as to stop smoking tobacco. I have been set free, and only God could have done something like this in my life. I am so grateful to be free of the things that once held me in bondage. I prayed years for exactly what I have in this moment. It's truly unbelievable because those things held me captive for a long time. I began to believe this couldn't happen for me, even so far as to believe I wasn't worthy of it happening to me. But I got it. I give God all the glory for this occurrence, and that is what has brought me to the water. I am forever indebted for the freedom that I have now, so I give myself, once again, to the one that did that for me. This time,